And hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Con Hour. And normally we're on Saturdays, but today we're doing one on Friday. Hey, you never know when we're going to show up. I know this week has been a long week for me. I just started my chemo regimen back up. So, hey, a little weak, but I'm here. What can we say? And today we're going to be speaking with Jerry Shafer, the director of Eastern Rim Con. And we're going to find out. I know they moved due to the pandemic and everything. We're going to find out if they plan on keeping the change or whatnot. So, first, let's welcome Jerry. Hey, Jerry.
Hey, everybody. Hey, man, what's going on there, Greg? How's everybody doing out there in the world? Hopefully, everyone's having a great time and staying out of this funky weather, not like me.
Oh, the weather's been.
So,
I know.
basically,
I know
sorry,
Northeast
go ahead.
Houston has been rainy. I don't know how it
Yes,
is there,
sir.
but it's been
Yes,
raining
sir.
here.
Yeah, it's been raining a little bit over here as well. So yeah, let's get into the whole Eastern Room Funny Book and Vintage Con. So let me give a little bit of history for everybody. We are I'm part of a 501c3 nonprofit called the Promise Center, the Fred Aguilar Promise Center, and we have been part of the community and working for the community for many years. Here just recently, in the last few years, we sort of got together, and the vice president and myself are both comic book collectors, and we were like, man, why don't we put on some sort of show? And it was kind of inspired by some of the local shows, like the Son of Houston Con, Don show, and I was like, let's see what we can do, what we can put together. And so what happened is that we created like a little show. It was just a dealer floor, basically just stuff to sell there in our actual building, the Promise Center. And we did pretty well. We had like 130, 140 come to the door, which was great for just a little show with no with not a whole lot of promotion. We did some promotion, but not a big huge deal or whatever. And then the next time that we did it, which was in April, the following April, it sort of started kind of growing on its own, doing its own thing, saying, "Hey, I want to have a cosplay," and all of a sudden, cosplay people started showing up, and I was like, "Oh, terrific!" And then it was like, "Yeah, we need to have some panels," and we're like, "Oh, great!" And people started offering panels, and we started, basically developing into more than just like a collector showcase. We actually became a con of our own, and we had panels, and we had guests, and we had all sorts of vendors, and it was really terrific. And then the following year, we actually got our city, and they threw some money down for us, and we were able to have our bigger size event where we actually had some major folks come out. We had Rags Morales, and Brett Peoples, and Nick Patera, and guys like that. Of course, not to mention our local our hero artists. Like Davy Jones and Mustafa Musa, and some of the Amanda Flores, and some of our other artists that we really truly love, and have been with us since the beginning. And it just turned into kind of what we are now. And of course, we were going to have a much bigger show this last April, before the pandemic hit. And
Well, we might be losing him. I'm not sure. If we do, I'm sure
we were
he'll
going
be
to
back.
have, oh, I think there's something going on with the connection, or are you good there?
We got you back.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so what was the last thing you heard me say?
Davy Jones and Mustafa.
Right, and Davy Jones, Mustafa, Amanda Flores, all of our hometown hero artists that we love and appreciate so much, and of course the following year we were going to have a much bigger show, but pandemic hit and everything got kind of turned around, and we got postponed until September, and then finally postponed until we could actually have COVID be a much less of an issue in our lives. And luckily we pushed it to September 11th, 12th, and you asked if we're going to keep it there. And as far as I know, we're going to see how it goes to September to see how it works, and then we'll figure out September, or maybe move it back to April or sometime. But, so we'll have to see. Yeah, and our the whole game plan, our whole setup of the show is that it's free. It's free because we want to make sure that everybody has access to the show. We want to make sure that kids of all ages and sizes and shapes and colors and everything, all of them come together and have a great, wonderful time at our show. That it's not cost prohibitive. They can come in and bring in their money and get whatever they want, as opposed to having to pay exorbitant amount of money to get in. Like for instance, some of the bigger shows you're talking about $75 per person. So if you have a family of six, I mean, you're looking at almost $500 there, and you are looking at it with parking and everything. So before you get in the door, $500. Okay, then you walk in, and then you have to, figure out how you're going to feed the family. And con pizza is expensive, and it's like $9 for a slice, and it's mostly made out of a little sawdust, maybe some styrofoam. So it's not filling or very very great, And don't get me wrong, I like a nice slice of con pizza every once in a while, but when you're looking to feed your family, that's you want to give them something of quality. And of course, we have inexpensive foods, and last year we had sandwiches and things like that, nachos and things of that nature. And once again, we're not looking to get rich or make money. We're literally looking to make some money to put back into the show for next year, and make sure that we can keep providing this service to the community. And that's what Eastern Room is about. That's what matters to us. It matters for us to be able to give our community, locally and at large, something of value, and still have a great time and provide them with a local asset. So
Now,
that's
one of the things. One of the things is it's free for people to attend, and you do have your vendors, and trust me, they're going to be selling their products. So it's not going to be free, trust me. But I mean, but it's free to get in. It saves you a lot of money compared to, like you said, the bigger shows. Now, one of the things that, like, I'm conducting my show on is like panels, and y'all do conduct panels for y'all's show also.
Yes, we do.
And like I said, y'all are in September, so it's a little bit early to tell, but you're going to have panels for authors, artists, cosplayers, the whole works, I'm sure.
Correct, Amanda. That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to have whatever, artists or guest creators we have there to, speak on.
I think we lost your volume there.
There. Okay. Do you hear me now?
I hear you now.
Okay, great. So yeah, it's how should I say? It's one of those things where we will definitely have a full complement of different folks, providing us with cool panels. And in the past we've had our artists talk about their lives, our writers talk about their lives in terms of comics and what they've done. We've had our authors discussing their books and their writing process. I believe last year Lisa Vasquez ran a panel on writing process, and we had a whole bunch of folks there discussing and talking about what they did for books. From Peanut Butter and Jam, Matrix, to Lisa herself and some of the other authors that we have in the area. Diane Prokop, I believe, was there. And so, once again, it's definitely something that we attempt to provide for our congoers, so that way they have something to fill their time, and not just, I mean, we want them to walk around the floor and buy things, of course. At the same time, though, we want to be able to have our vendors and our artists promote themselves, so that they know exactly what they are and who they are, and be able to understand who they are better, and maybe be more likely to pick up a couple of things here and there, or a lot of things here and there.
And I mean, even from a vendor standpoint, when I went there, I was there, well, it was 2 years ago, or year and a half ago. There's no telling. I'm getting confused with these years nowadays.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was fun. I mean, even the vendors, talk to the vendors. I mean, it's fun. I mean, it was an all around enjoyable, very relaxing. Everybody, you could just feel the excitement in the air. And I have to say, I really enjoyed that. But one thing I do want to post up here is the logo that y'all have for this year. And we had talked yesterday. Did you want to
Yes,
say
sir.
who did the art? And
Mhm.
go ahead.
Absolutely. One of the artists that I can tell y'all about right now that we definitely for sure will have this year is Mark Nelson. Okay, so to give you a little understanding of who Mark Nelson is and how his art works, it's like this. Mark is an artist's artist. Okay, this guy creates some unbelievable art that I mean, like all the folks that I've shown the complete piece of art, we're releasing it a piece at a time, so to speak, because we want to give a grand effect to the way we open up the art for everybody. Man, everyone is just like they're looking at. They're like it's almost they can't. Their brains can't comprehend. It's so amazing. It's such a beautiful piece, and everything he does. Mark A. Nelson artist. Go look him up on your Google or anything like that. And I promise, the stuff that you see from him is just unbelievable. Now, the way that some people know him is that he was actually the first person to put pen and paper on the Dark Horse Presents, and it was truly a very and the way he did it. Greg, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Greg?
You were breaking up, but you're still coming in.
Okay. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. Let me repeat what I said. Mark Nelson is a tremendous artist, an amazing artist. He's an artist, you know, like Pete Craig Nelson and all these amazing guys, Charles Vess, all of them know who he is and follow his work. He's actually the guy who put in the ink for the first time for the Aliens and Dark Horse Comic Presents, and that's how a lot of people know him. And I mean, I'm telling you, this guy is amazing. So he's doing the art for us. And as I said, we're releasing the art a piece at a time, so that way that we can give you the full glory of what it is. When it's finally unfurled. When we do the full blown ad and the flyers and everything. But yeah, and we have other folks that we're working on right now. I can't let you know at the moment because we're gonna kind of keep those things under wraps until it comes through. Got word from a very exciting creator here yesterday that they just said they were going to do the show and here in the next few months. And so we're working very hard to get some really great quality acts to come to the show and be a part of our scene.
Well, the other thing is y'all are in the process of trying to build up
Mm-hmm.
y'all's Facebook likes. And let me go ahead and share y'all's Facebook page
Yes, we are.
real quick. And it's yep, facebook.com, Eastern Rim Com. And guys, go there, like the
Mm-hmm.
page. You'll find out everything ahead of time. Well, maybe not really ahead of time, but when everybody else does, you'll find out the goods right then and there as soon as it's posted.
Yes, sir. We also
And
have a website as well, so you know.
and that's actually posted on y'all's Facebook page, so they can actually
Correct.
go to the website from there.
Yes, sir.
And where is this going to be held at? That's one thing that we haven't
It's
discussed.
Sure, not a problem. We're going to hold it at the college in Baytown, Texas, 200 Lee Drive, at the gymnasium. Okay, and it's a big sort of kind of complex. Okay, and it has a gym and it has the place where we're going to have our panel rooms. Everything's all in one spot, so it's a really sort of convenient and nice setup. And it's going to be different from last year. Last year there were some issues with that part of the venue and that had already been taken by someone else and we didn't know about it, and or it was one of those things that just kind of was misconstrued, and finally we were able to get everything set up in Rundell Hall, and it worked out pretty well. I think we had a great time in there, and a lot of people were very happy. But it's going to be, I think, even better in the gymnasium because we're going to all be together in one spot in one area, and it's going to be just free for all of fun.
Now I know with everything, it's kind of settling down and it's not settling down because you never know what's going to be happening.
No.
And it day to day it changes. What are y'all's plans for safety protocol for September? I mean, it's still kind of early to tell, but I think y'all still have an idea.
Well, depending on how things go, at the moment for right now, we're going to be, still working on social distancing and making sure that folks, wear masks, and we're going to have the hand gel and everything like that. So when you come in, and temperature checks as well. We're going to make sure that all those things are in place. But once again, depending on how things go with COVID, if as far as I understand, at least 50% of adults right now have had one shot, and 25% of all adults in the United States have had two shots. And so by September, I'm imagining those numbers will be quite a bit higher. And so, and we'll see how it goes. But at the moment, we're still planning on doing all of the things that CDC has recommended and make sure that we follow those protocols to keep everybody safe.
And I know it's really got to be tough for y'all trying to get people to come in and out during that time. Also, have you had?
It can't.
I was going to say, have you had people say, "Nah, I think I'm going to wait until find out more information about what's going on"? Or
In terms of our guests, you mean?
correct?
Um, some guests are like, put me in now. If you have to come tomorrow, let me know. I will come. Others are like, yeah, let's wait and see. And as I said, so we're waiting and seeing for some folks, to see what the deal is, because everyone has a comfort level, and I completely understand that. We want to make sure that all our guests feel comfortable being where we are. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, other guests, have a much higher comfort level, and they're willing to just go ahead and come on out, and already said that they're down. So that's terrific too. Like I said, we're working really hard to make sure that we meet everyone's comfort level, and that we attempt to get the best guests and the best folks that we can, and make it great for everybody, balance it out in a way that makes sense, is safe, and yet still holds that same feeling of fun and enjoyment that a con brings to people's hearts.
Well, one of the things that a lot of people like to do is, of course, they're gonna be browsing and shopping. What type of vendors do you plan on having?
Okay, so we're going to have a full gamut of vendors in terms of, of product, and what people will be selling. We're going to have, of course, folks who sell comic books and comic art, and we have folks who are going to be selling toys, and we're going to have the usual suspects. We will have Bedrock City out there. We'll have Nico's Comics and Games. We'll have several other folks, some folks coming from Dallas, some folks coming from San Antonio, um, Rex Comic Crypt, I believe, and like I said, a whole gamut of folks going to be there. And then we're also going to have a bunch of authors, because we love to have our authors. We love for them to be there and to take part, and to share their books, like you, and um, like Inklings Publishing, Fern Brady, and Lisa Vasquez, and just the whole. I think Diane Prokop is going to be there as well. D. Marie Prokop, I think that's her what's her call it name, her author name, and just Nom de Plume. Sorry, and it's just gonna, we want to make sure that we have uh, uh, C.J. Peters as well. I believe is going to be there, and her sister Ellen Mann. Um, and like I said, we just want to make sure that we have those folks taken care of, because we know people love books. We know people love to read, especially at our event, which is based on comics, which is based on literacy. You know what I'm saying? That's the focal point of what we're doing there. Why do you read comics? You read comics so that you can have, a great time. Neil Adams said it best. If you take the best artist in the world, the best writer in the world, and you put them together, what do you have? You have a comic. And at the same time, that also leads into the higher level stuff, stuff with that is maybe not necessarily superheroes, which of course comes for authors like yourself, or Lisa, or any one of those folks. We're also going to have vintage items folks who are selling like a bunch of like cool antique and found stuff. For instance, we're going to have the Twisted Time Machine. We're going to have Fred's Collectibles. We're going to have all sorts of stuff like that. And so we'll also have folks who are selling original art. We're also going to have folks who are selling, just different wares, different things like the Nerdfest toy chest. They have a bunch of sourced items that they bring, a bunch of cool varying things, tchotchkes and all sorts of stuff like that, cachivaches as they say,
Mhm.
and just a whole gamut of what you would expect at a con, um, as well as things that might be unexpected as well.
And they do have a variety. That I do know.
Yes, sir.
I go to them all the time when I can. Of
Hmm.
course, it explains a little bit of this right here.
Yes, sir.
But one thing, guys, please definitely by, check out the Eastern Rim page on Facebook, like it. Let's get those likes up. We're going for 1,000, I believe, for this weekend,
Yes, sir.
and not too far away. I mean,
Yeah, not too bad.
yeah, you could think, oh, that's a lot, but really, it's not really a lot. Just everybody share the page, like it. Also, here, subscribe to my channel. I'm going to have some great guests besides Jerry. I know I've done a lot of interviews with coordinators lately, but got an actress coming next week with Katie Chonikis. I know in May I have DC the Brain Supreme. He'll be on here. We'll
Mhm.
we'll find out how much ice cream he ate during that commercial.
Mhm.
And
And actually, oh, sorry, go ahead.
and then I have CJ Peterson, author. She's going to be at Eastern Rim. I have Dan Christoffers, game designer. I mean, we're going to have a whole a whole slew of people. So
Hmm.
definitely subscribe to my page. We're going to get up there. Like his page, we're going to get up there. Yeah.
Absolutely. I wanted to mention our sponsors very quickly for Eastern Rim, who have been so kind to, put me down as sponsorships. We have DC Gomez, and she's coming out, I believe, Texarkana. She's an amazing writer. Of course, Fern Brady and Inklings are going to be there. She's terrific, and all her stable of writers are great. Jay Gillespie is going to be there. He's part of Dimension Comics, and he writes comics, some really amazing, well written, beautiful, beautifully drawn comics. And so, like I said, we want to make sure that we thank our sponsors and all the folks who are supporting us and who are going to be there for us. And so, we thank them tremendously, and we couldn't do it without them.
Definitely. Now, just so you can give a bit of an idea here, are there any words of advising somebody that might be wanting to start their own little con?
Okay, so yes, I do. And so, and I wanted to hold off on saying our one of our other sponsors because I sort of want to give a detail about that. Uh, our other sponsor is Fuel the Geek. They're a fan page and a geek page online, a part of the larger nerd and geek community. And so, to sort of give you an idea, um, Don Price's show inspired us. Okay. And basically, what he did was just get a hold of some vendors that get a hold of some artists and local folks, bring them together, and put them inside of a hotel. And I went to his first show and his second show, in fact, every show he's ever had. And it was something that I thought was interesting and inspiring. And at that point, I thought let's go ahead and see if we can do this, and that's exactly what we did. We set up our show and just kind of got into it. First of all, as a collector showcase, and later on as more of a, you know, full blown Comic Con. Growing a piece at a time. Um, and here's the deal: Fuel the Geek was one of the first folks who came to us and said, "Hey, we want to help out." we want to, be a sponsor. They've been a sponsor for 2 years,
Mm.
and they've been a sponsor for the last 2 years. And I'm actually on the admin team now. They asked me to go be on there just like a few months ago. And what I'm getting at with this is for all the folks who are coming up, you need to make connections with your nerd and geek communities. You have to start making those connections and being a part of those groups and being active with them and making those connections, because once you do that, everything that you do, you will absolutely and positively be supported by all of your pals and your friends out there. And all I can say is that take it a piece at a time. Okay, you want to start a con? That's great. That's terrific. Do not go full blown thinking it's going to be this big thing. No, start out small, and small is good. Small is great. That's where you cut your teeth. That's where you learn how to do the show. You know, you find a space that you can get or rent for cheap or whatever it is. Luckily we had Promise Center, and since we that's our space. We could use that without having to get charged because of us. And you go out to the nerd and the geek community and you meet people, and you go to the little cons and you meet folks and you build relationships with them, and a piece at a time. If that's what you want to do, you can start doing that. Hell, after we did our con, other folks started kind of doing their cons as well. Even Fuel the Geek did their garage sale, which was a very cool local show that I was there and helped out with. Just a great, awesome local show. Great folks, great situation. The vendors were there, had a great time, and I can tell you that everything that we do that helps the community helps everybody. So the tide raises all boats. That's what I believe. And so, as I said, if you want to start a con of your own, do not be afraid to be small. Get out there, get to know your community, get part of it, be an active part of it, and be a nice person. You know, be a good, decent, nice person, and put any sort of negativity, man, just put that in your pocket and don't worry about it, because this is all about fun. And there's some trials and there's some tribulations. Definitely, there's that goes without saying, except that you have to say it because people have to understand. At the same time, just know in the end that if you're doing this because you want to bring this to the community, then you're doing it for the right reason. I mean, if you want to make money off of it, that's fine too. There's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. Our business model is not everyone's business model. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I'm still going to shows where I have to pay, and I don't mind it at all. What I'm saying is that make sure that you're doing this for the people, and as long as your heart is there, and as long as you know that you'll eventually make money if that's what you're looking to do. Nothing wrong with that at all. Perfect. As long as you keep the people in mind, everything will work out in a much better and smoother and easier fashion, and in a much more fun way as well. So those are my
Yeah,
words of wisdom. But
yeah. I was going to say the main thing is to have fun. Definitely have fun.
Correct, Mundo.
Now, as I said, everybody have fun. It's going to be a glorious weekend. I know in Houston they have Traders Village. Go check it out. I know people that are going to be out there. Definitely go check it out. But in the meantime, I'm going to head out here, find out what's going to be for dinner for me.
Gotcha.
But
Before you go, can I say really quickly, hey, everybody out
yes,
there, make sure that you keep Randy El Ariachi Garza in on your mind, because he's having surgery today, and so make sure that you send good energy and prayers in his direction, so that he
definitely.
comes through this with flying colors.
Definitely. And we do look forward to having him on the show. He was supposed to be today, but because of the surgery, quite understandable. So,
Absolutely.
everybody, y'all have a great weekend, and we will catch y'all next Friday at 4:30, I believe, with Katie Chonakis. And let's enjoy the show and enjoy your weekend.